All right, guys, welcome to another live session here at the Watercraft Journal. I'm the host of the Watercraft Journal I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'm your host. My name is Kevin Shaw. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We got a little bit of news, but I was already talking with tonight's guest. We were shooting the bull, and that's what tonight's basically going to be, is a lot of live Q&A. So if you guys have super chats, a lot of tech questions, get your super chats up and ready to roll, because we're going to chew through a lot of questions, a lot of tech stuff. We got a lot of big announcements coming out of our guest. But before we do that, let's get into a little bit of the news on the Watercraft Journal. Tomorrow we are publishing on the YouTube channel an uncut of my, it wasn't a breakdown, it's when I sucked up some plastic during the Great Lakes ride up in where the hell were we? Rogue River up in Detroit, and it was shown in the Great Lakes ride where I got stuck and we had to pull the stator the Venturi and the stator, and anyway, I put the whole thing in there, all the footage that we gathered. It's only like a 3-minute video, but it's the uncut of all that. And then the very next day, so Wednesday, is going to be the second part of our collaboration with JD's Waterworld in outfitting a 2022 Kawasaki Ultra 310L XS with a bunch of unlimited PWC parts. And this one is going to be the entire steering system. So the billet steering neck and the key, the deactivation activator key relocating to the glove box, as well as the fixed handlebars. And so that's going to be on Wednesday, and that will be followed probably in a couple weeks with should be the final installment, and that is of a hard test. We're talking flat water, ocean, rough water, hardcore multi-adjustant testing of the unlimited PWC billet. I was trying to hold the cough back. Sorry. Of the unlimited PWC billet sponsons. So yeah, that's going to be the procession of those articles. As for future testing for the Watercraft Journal, I still have our 2022 310LX. I have one more video to do on that, and that's primarily a feature-heavy one. That's more going over the TFT screen and all the different all the things in navigating the TFT screen. That's going to be the last video that I do on that one. And then we just got word today. In fact, I got to sign the paperwork for the 2023 160 LXS in orange and black, and that's finally going to be showing up in a few weeks. I'm still waiting on a 23 model from Sea-Doo for testing, and then we will go from there. I'm already planning a couple things with Sea-Doo, so we're going to have a couple pretty cool videos coming out later down the line. Also, in addition to the JD's Waterworld video, there is an article that goes into deeper detail of the installation. It's more of a tutorial on the installation, easier to follow if the video goes too quick for you. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out both the article and the video that's coming out on that. All right, so we've got, let me start marking stuff off. Got the uncut that's coming out tomorrow night. The JD's Waterworld with unlimited on the handlebar steering system. Sponsons in the next couple weeks. And the LXS. All of my news is done. Please welcome. You know him, you love him. Greg Gaddis, the host of the Greenhulk Garage on YouTube. He is also Greenhulk Jr. on the greenhulk.net forum. Greg is the guy who is going to be taking Greenhulk further and farther and we were just chatting about some future stuff for the Greenhulk name and the Greenhulk family. I didn't know you gave me a lot to work with, Greg, so I don't know where to begin. So first, he was teasing me just the other day with a bit of customer carnage. We often share notes on things we see bouncing around online, stuff that comes across his desk or comes into his garage while he's working on skis. Greg, what is the latest destruction that you'd like to share? Give us a little bit of a story.
Okay, so performance modifications can't be installed by just anybody. All right, you need some form
Why
of.
not?
You're about to see why. You need some form of mechanical background. Well, most of these kits are designed for ease of install, stuff like a stage 3. Not just anybody should put that together, or bad things will happen. So this guy, he put a stage 3 on this ski. There's a few things that I didn't quite like as to how he went about the install. One of the things, like where you need to use high temp silicone or any form of silicone, it looked like clear caulk that you use for windows in a house. This is not the stuff you want to be using. So that was the first red flag there. And you start tearing things apart. And one of the fittings for the upgraded supercharger shaft on this Yamaha GP 1800, it wouldn't even hand tight. I touched it with the finger and it just started backing out. So this guy ran it. It made no oil pressure because of that. And there was some pretty hefty damage. And I'll pull some of these parts right here. Not only did it not make any oil pressure, but because of that, it spun every single rod bearing. It spun 3 main bearings. The remaining 2 main bearings were damaged. So I know this sucker was squealing. It was knocking. It was down on power, and it should not have been run in that condition. But it was until it completely melted, and we had some major failure here. So I don't know how well you guys can see this.
Yeah.
This is a forged connecting rod. This is a very strong rod.
That thing was cherry red when that thing
melted.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see the discoloration up here. I don't know how well.
Well, I can bring the picture. I can bring your picture up too. You let me know. Okay. All right. Here, I'll bring the picture up. All right. He sent me this yesterday. This forged connecting rod got so hot that you can see it. You can see that it's literally discolored right here. You can see the natural color. It blew, when they call bluing, it blues right here, and then it's completely carbonized right here.
Yeah, and like even the piston skirt, look at the scoring up on that.
To your picture. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Every single piston looks like this. One of the pistons, this same thing, it completely failed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It completely ate the skirt off. It baked the skirt. Here, let me add this. Let me bring this picture up.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's all 4.
Right. Here's another rod. This is the one that caused the motor to lock up completely because it just broke, wedged itself in the block, cracked the block. Yeah, look. If you take a look at this crankshaft right here, this is another forged steel crankshaft. This journal here, I mean, it's completely melted. It's deformed. It's got grooves in it. This is a lot of damage. What was a $5 oil fitting that, if it was installed properly, this is about $11,000 in damage when you factor in the motor rebuild, the parts it took out, and the labor involved with that.
Okay, I'm bringing up oh my gosh, look at the discoloring here, guys.
Right, that should be a polished piece of metal that's completely smooth, no grooves in it. Yeah, it's
I mean, look at the throws. I mean, this is thick cast aluminum.
No.
This steel.
That crank is forged steel.
This forged steel. Yeah, I don't know why I said aluminum. Sorry. This is all forged steel. And this thing completely is, I mean, the throws got so hot.
Oh,
I mean, obviously the journal is totally gone. But I mean, dude, the heat. And then of course it kicks out. Here's the window block right here. Okay.
Yeah, that's that's the bottom of the block going into the oil pan.
Okay.
So yeah, you can see the broken piston in the back of it. Yeah. That takes some talent, you know. So not only do you need mechanical skill to install this kind of stuff, but when something goes wrong and you hear bad noises that you're not supposed to hear, turn the ski off and get towed in. You know, it would have saved a lot more stuff. Every rotating part in the bottom end has to be replaced. Not aside from the pistons, rods, and the crank and the block. You know, the magneto on the back, the starter gear, the one-way bearing back there, it all melted and fused together. I mean, it got that hot.
It's totally gone. The whole engine's gone.
It's toast, and it's a shame, and it's a heartbreaking situation for the customer because you know it puts a bad taste in their mouth, and it gets them off the water. We don't wish this upon anybody. So I mean, it really drives the importance. If you don't have the capability of doing something like this, just pay somebody to do it because it's going to save you a lot more time and money in the long run with no headache. Because I mean, just that simple fitting, if it was installed properly, this would have never happened.
That's gnarly. God.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
that's gnarly. So okay. So if I'm the customer, what would be my next step?
Well, like this is your ski?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Let's pretend it's me. What you're like, hey, listen, dude, this thing is completely gone. You're gonna have to buy a powertrain, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And
okay.
Of course, I didn't tear this down completely because of certain things when I gave him an initial estimate. And you know, when you break a rod, the carnage is typically not this bad. And you don't know about this until you completely tear it down. So, I mean, it's costing more than initially expected because of the fact that it was continued to run in a situation where it shouldn't have. And so, yeah, he's getting it fixed. But honestly, if it were my ski, I would just start fresh, buy a new one.
Just buy a new ski.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking almost 11 grand in damage here it's not a brand new ski. It was neglected, not taken care of too well. You probably can't.
So the hull, I mean, can he sell the hull? Can he sell? I mean,
it's in rough shape, but sure, you know. But this complete running ski, you might get 12 grand if you're lucky for it. So,
oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, I would. It's definitely a heartbreaking situation, and no one really wins here.
This is not a cheap hobby, guys. let's just start right there. This is not a cheap hobby.
Well, if the parts are installed properly, everything's maintained properly, you shouldn't have any issues like this ever. It's just the fact that the install went wrong, and it was a big headache from that moment on.
Right. All right. So you were saying that obviously this is a customer. You and I were talking about your dance card's getting pretty full when it comes to getting customer skis, right?
Yeah.
You're pretty scheduled out for what, the year?
Oh no, not the year, because again, not advertising. I stay booked up a few weeks out. If I tell people, you know, I can't get your ski for 6 months, I don't feel like I'd have many customers.
Right.
So I try to schedule it to where I'm 3 weeks out.
Okay.
At the very most.
Okay. And right now it's been word of mouth. I mean, it's literally
100% just word of mouth.
Okay. Okay. Now, last time I knew, you were working out of your home garage. Now things have changed.
Yeah, it's so some of the things I do at my home garage, I got set up for my supercharger rebuilds, which keeps me very, very busy there. Just today, I did 9 superchargers that I've rebuilt. But for big projects like this and other performance builds, obviously I can't do that outside of my home garage. So I've got, for the time being, I've got a 60 by 50 storage unit where I could do certain things. And in the future, we're right now in the process of buying a pretty decent sized piece of property, and we're going to build a full service shop where we're going to do performance builds, eventually make our own parts with CNC machines. Our office will be out of there. We'll be
Wow.
a full-fledged online store, form, and performance shop at that point.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet. And it's convenient because it's an 1/8 mile down the road from Drawbronze, where many of you guys come for mud bug, and we do all of our water testing there.
Well, that's awesome. So you were looking at land, and the land you guys haven't closed on the land yet, right?
Not just yet.
Not yet. Okay. But then how big are the square footage? You said 11?
For
No.
what?
How the square footage for the building?
I think we're limited to 9,000 square feet without a
Okay.
fire suppression system. So
All
I
right.
think
All
we
right.
have 9,000 square feet is where we're at right now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It'll be a nice size shop.
Okay. And that's going to basically be your gig.
Well, I mean, doing the performance stuff, yeah, I'm the only one that works on them now. But the online store, we've got several employees, including my dad, that make the stuff happen.
Now, are you moving the Greenhulk offices from where you are currently to the new building?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's going to be a pretty sweet office because we're going to do an office combined with a showroom where we'll have our skis out on display. We will have our car collection, though it's not very big, on display. So anyone that's welcome to is welcome to come in, check us out, see what's going on. It'd be a nice thing to have.
Okay. Dude, that's gonna be rad.
Yeah.
Okay. And your girl moved back into town too?
Oh yeah, and she's gonna I'm gonna make sure she helps me out. I know I've been neglecting the videos, but as busy as I've been, I can't pick up a camera and sit hours every night editing these videos. So she's going to help me out with that. And of course, that'll be a lot more content for you guys to enjoy as well.
Well, that'll be great. Plus, it's not going to be pulling you between 2 states. So that's good.
Absolutely. It's works out there too.
Good. All right. Well, I know besides your customer skis, you let me know about one of your own projects that you had a close call with.
Yeah, very close call, and I need to go buy a lottery ticket. My engine almost looked like this one.
Yeah. Should I bring the picture up?
Yeah, go ahead, bring that picture up.
All right.
Yeah. So what you're looking at?
You sent me this on Sunday? Was it Sunday you sent me this?
Yeah, but it broke Friday at Mudbug.
Okay.
So I only rode half a day. I ended up working Saturday and Sunday, but I was hoping to ride a full day until this happened.
Okay.
So this is an intake valve, and what happened is it cracked. And when it cracked, it let out all compression. I'm not firing on all 3 cylinders on the Sea-Doo. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that later. Well,
you can't hire your own spouse.
Yeah. She benefits from the money that it's going to bring in. So, anyway, so I'm not firing on all 3 cylinders once this happened. So I immediately shut the ski down, which is a prime example of why when something goes wrong, don't continue to run it. Because if I continue to run this engine thinking, something will clear out or whatever, or just ignored it, the valve would have broke. And when it would have broken, it would have smashed the piston. It would have smashed the head. The head would have been toast. a complete rebuild that would have cost thousands of dollars, and now it's just a simple couple $100 fix. Put a new valve in there and do a valve job, and I'll be ready to go. It saved everything. So when something goes wrong, you shut it off and you get lucky like this. And
Right.
if you continue to run it, you might end up looking like this. So
yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I've had, let's see, I lost the keepers on a stroker motor on a car engine I built for car, and stuck the intake valve. It just barely kissed the piston, but it was enough to stick it up in the seat, and it never backed out. So I was lucky on that one. So every now and again, you make out like a bandit. So
yeah.
when you sent me that, I was looking at my phone and I was trying to zoom it in, and I'm like, "What the hell am I looking at? Just tell me what I'm looking at." And you're like, "Dude,
Okay.
help me on the valve."
Yeah. Well, see this engine. This engine isn't perfect either. This is a 2006. I beat the hell out of this thing. Right now, the RPM's at 9,500 with rev limiter, turning about 9,300 RPM. 3 years ago, I dropped a valve on it. Of course, shut the engine off when that happens as well. It kissed the piston. It didn't break. It just dropped. It dented up the piston pretty nice, but cleaned it up with the Dremel. It's still in there. It still makes great compression.
Yeah.
These they can take some abuse.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. And now tell me about this is the RXT, right? The
engine's out of the RXT, but it's in a 08 RXP. I bought a hull or I bought a running ski. I used the engine or the powertrain out of that for a different ski, and I dropped in the 06 guts into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into an 08.
Into an 08 RXP, which is far better than that RXT was.
I honestly, I'm trying to remember what the Hall designation name was, because that generation RXT was called the Phoenix, but there was a name for the P that was in the inside of BRP, and I want to say it was like Barracuda, or it actually had a cool name.
Oh, really?
They actually named them instead of letters.
Okay.
Inside of BRP, I remember I was busting Tim McKercher about it years ago. I was like, please get rid of this alphabet soup and give these things names. Make them give them a cool name. Yeah. And he laughed. He goes, oh, they have names inside of BRP. We don't call them the letter names outside. And I was like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, and I've got no idea what the name is.
I'll have to dig it up. I'll have to think about it, because I know I wrote about it in one article. But that RXPX, or that RXP, I should say, that RXP that lasted till 2011 was easily one of the most fun, most responsive, diverse. I mean, guys were racing that hull offshore. They were racing it in closed courses. It was a great drag race hull.
Yeah.
It really is one of the most diverse hulls.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, if I was to do a retro 4-stroke, I think it would be like a 08 or 09 PX 255.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I didn't get to ride it for very long until this happened. I might have put 2 or 3 hours on it, but it was a fun 2 to 3 hours. Kylie got to drive it, and she loved it. She likes it better than the notes that are sitting on the trailer, which is the RXPX 300 and GP 1800R. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's a very fun ski. It's very responsive to the trim. You could feel it, the attitude change when it's all the way up or all the way down. It turns great with Riva sponsons on it. I don't know how fast it is yet, because I'm scared of the pump stuffing and putting me in the hospital. But I don't know the horsepower number, but it's got an old ET68 140, which is like 17 pounds of boost, 18 pounds of boost, depending on the RPM. Collis cams in it, 9,500 RPM tune. Yeah, it pulls really good for what it is. And I mean, the speedometer stops at 70, and at 70 miles an hour, according to that, it had plenty of left in it to go. So no
yeah.
telling. I didn't hold it too long to get a good GPS number, because they were known for stuffing on that X hull.
Oh yeah. So, I think, I want to say the first time I ever went over 80 was on Nick Vanis's. This was back in 08 or 09. He had a Motec ECU, and Nils Castillo built the engine. Remember Nils?
Oh yeah, he's got a 69 Corvette engine right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Nils had built that ski for him, and Johnny Anik had done some other handling work on it. It was black and red, and it was Nick had won the Catalina with it. And now, mind you, Nick is one of those guys who he's changing parts at 2 a.m. before the race. And you're like, you need to have your S dialed like days before, you know. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh no, I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, stop it, just leave it alone. But I'll tell you, man, I went out on Long Beach Marine Stadium one day with him, got in that thing, and we threw out some buoys, and dude, you know, this pink face went white. Because I was like, dude, this is a rocket ship.
Oh, yeah.
It was real. And I mean, you think about it, and you're like, that's a 16-year-old hull, you know? I mean,
right. Yeah, I mean, for as old as it is, I honestly like the old skis better than the new stuff. Like my buddy's got a 1300 two-stroke, the GP 1300R. It's completely stock, but 70 miles an hour on that thing feels about 100 on the new GPs. And it's just a fun ski, you know. It's they don't make stuff like that anymore, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I think the closest we got, to be honest, are like EXs and Sparks.
Well, if you look at the dimensional specs, it's the Spark is pretty much the size of the old RXP hull.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Kylie were on it Friday, and I told her, "Can you scoot back?" Because you know I felt like I was right on top of the bars, and there was nowhere to scoot back on. It's a small ski.
Yeah, it's not a GTX 300 or a, you know.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I mean, it's funny because you know, the journal, I'm kind of stuck messing with all the new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like I get to do a lot of tech. I mean, I literally got a question today. Can I put the Riva sponsons on a switch?
I mean,
I'm like,
it might bolt up. I don't know how it would.
Switch! It's a freaking switch! And I'm like, he's like, hey, will a scum and a catch can and the sponsons help us switch? I'm like, no. It's a pontoon boat.
Right.
And so, I mean, I'm talking with a totally different group of people. Don't get me wrong. The community here, for the most part, not those guys. But 80% of my job is filtering through these questions.
Right. Well,
and so,
a lot of that too. Like part of the reason we want to build a performance shop is because no one's capable of doing this anymore, just installing stuff themselves. You know, you ask someone to change their spark plugs and they're clueless. It's just the world we live in now. No one grew up with a wrench in their hand anymore, you know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, what's the meme? It was a great picture. It was like, a lot of you didn't grow up with your dad yelling at you to hold the flashlight straight, and it shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're holding it wrong. You're like, I'm sorry, Dad. And you're shaking because you don't want to piss your dad off.
Yeah, I've been there quite a few times.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry. I'm getting messages from all over the place. Yeah. So I just have to laugh because, I mean, I want to talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, this is what I'm interested in. But then it's like, I also don't want to be in the middle of the whole competition of, you know, one shop versus the other versus one part versus the other. And So it's tough. I'm in this weird
Well,
pocket,
you know,
and well,
if you
go ahead.
do a project ski, restore like a retro mod or something like that, you
Yeah,
can write about it, and it might spark some interest. It helps
yeah.
sponsored people out, buy parts from them to restore it. A little fun for you. I don't
Hmm.
think it'd be a bad idea. It might be a change of scenery for people, and might enjoy that.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, yeah. I Kevin King is the president of Year One Muscle Cars out in
Mhm.
Georgia, and he's got an immaculate. I mean, it's immaculate. '03 STXR 1200 Cowie.
Okay.
And I mean, dude, the white or the checkered graphics, everything on that ski looks like it's a year or two old. I mean, it's just
Wow.
so nice. And I'm like, I would want that ski, but I know the minute that I fire up a two stroke, I'm going to get chased at it everywhere I want to go. I'm going to have readers going, well, I don't want to do this because
Yeah.
it's a two stroke. And I live up in New York and it's like, okay, I just, it's like, I
Yeah.
would personally want it. That's the ski
Right.
that I would want.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, for example, again, I'm mixing chocolate and peanut butter here, but like the last 3 months, I've been doing a lot of Jeep stuff on my
Mhm.
Mopar magazine. And anytime I do a video or articles in Jeep, viewership just tanks.
Really?
And I'm like, all you guys have Jeeps. So what's the freaking? They're like, I don't come here for Jeep stuff. I want to talk about classic muscle cars. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. Literally the message I just got is I'm building a 4.7 liter stroker motor out of a 4 liter. And the way to do that is you take your standard Jeep inline 6 4 liter and you go get the crank and rods out of the previous generation 4.2 liter. The crank is the same, or excuse me, the block is the same. They
Mhm.
just changed the stroke. They changed the stroke of the crank and the length of the rods, and that was the end of it. Well, if you take that 4.2 liter crank and rods and you throw it in a 4 liter, even if you don't, if you have standard bore, you're a 4.6 liter. You go 30 over 4.7 liter. I'm like, dude, I'm going to a 4.7 liter.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, let's take this thing to 40 over and get a
Mhm.
longer rod and make a 5 liter 6 cylinder.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll get 5.0 tags and put it on the Jeep. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
that'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyway, I'm excited by doing something weird and different, and my audience is like, so
Really?
it's like, oh yeah. So I'm kind of in the hole on that a little bit. So I'm like, I got to play it safe on the Jet Ski magazine because the Jet Ski magazine, people are like, the oil level is not what you told me, and I don't know what to do. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, go to
Well,
Harbor Freight and get a siphon.
you see the thing with like restoring an old Sea-Doo. I think Sea-Doo is the perfect one to restore, is because the engines are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
All the parts that are still offered for the brand new 300s, most of them carry over. The cams carry over, the valve springs carry over. The head is pretty much identical. So,
From the Ace 300 to the
oh
1503.
yeah. They'll interchange with each other. So all of these parts, the supercharger rebuilds or the 230 superchargers, are the same thing as the old X chargers. So a lot of these parts carry over, so it's easy to find. These skis are very cheap, and in this economy that we live in, where a brand new ski is $25,000 and no one wants to come out of pocket for that, why not
Right.
go spend $3,000 on an old Sea-Doo and have fun fixing it yourself, restoring it, and making a pretty cool ski for the fraction of the cost. And I've had a lot of fun with this project, and I enjoy working on this thing way more than a brand new one. Just the simplicity of it all.
Yeah.
So it's proven to be a fun project.
Okay. Well, I think you might be all right. I'm literally let's see if I can't pull this off and show you. I'm on the classified section that we Watercraft Journal has a here. I'll bring it up. Let's see here. Preset, share screen, window. Here we go. Classifieds. Here we go. I typed in Sea-Doo RXP. And here's the Apex. Oh, here we go. 12.5 for a pair of PX 255s.
Yeah, and I mean they're probably in great condition too.
That's not a bad price, dude.
No,
on a trailer in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
It was all in your name, Kevin.
Oh shit! I don't need that. I need that. I need a hole in the head. I literally have 4 engine builds in my garage right now that I'm doing, sitting there waiting on parts. Well, okay, so this means, I mean, I hate to say it, but this kind of makes it doable.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the price of a used newer 300.
14.
Yeah,
14 for a 2020.
Right,
dude. I'm telling you, the used market.
Older model. I mean, the one of that, they're asking 20 something for the newest model RXP used.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. No price listed. It's a P155. Oh, geez. I don't want a 155.
No, that's
I want at least a 215.
Yeah.
Start with a 215 and you can build that thing up. 12.4 for a 17. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. $7,000 RXPX 255 in Lithia Springs, Georgia.
That is my favorite ski in the world right there.
Right here?
Team. One day I will have one of those. I don't know when, but I will have one.
It looks pretty clean, dude. Look at the mats. The mats are in good shape.
Oh yeah.
Plastics are in good shape. Oh, clot sticker. This guy's doing his own oil changes. Look out.
Yeah, that red and the black. I mean, that sucker looks so good.
Yeah. Okay. It's Georgia, dude. Mountain Motorsports.
I think Kyle would shoot me if I got another one.
That's funny. Wow. Okay, $7,000 from a dealer, no less. So that's not. These aren't private sales. It's not like Facebook Marketplace. You go on a marketplace, you can probably find stuff cheaper. But we have this classified section that we do through BoatTrader.com.
Okay.
So it's Boat Trader's search engine that we host here on the magazine. So if anyone wants to look for, and again, it's going to be through Boat Trader. So we just have it funneled down for Watercraft.
Gotcha.
All right, dude. Now you got me wanting to do a retro build.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun because
you suck. I don't want a project.
It's a little bit more simple than the 300s are now as far as what they've got going on. It's and they're tough as nails. It's real fiberglass and gel coat.
Oh, thank you.
You oxidize one of those things, just polish it, looks brand new. And I mean, I've hit logs and come clean out the air, and there's not even a scratch on the thing.
All right, here's a silver 255. Dude, this thing. Why do the pictures so? No.
The 08 that I bought, it's oxidized. It needs to be polished, but it's not a scratch. It had 24 hours on it, and it was a complete running ski when I got it. And it was $4,500 on an aluminum trailer.
And an 06?
08, 255.
Oh, 08. All right.
Yeah, that exact ski.
Look at the stupid Canaflex hoses are, because those dry and rot out and discolor. This thing was kept inside.
Yeah.
Look, this. Oh, he's got a black tip cover on it. But besides that, this was in good shape. Okay. I mean, some of the graphics are bad. And you can see this is where your legs always rub. So,
right.
But dude, it's a freaking 09.
We sell new mat kits. You can still buy the seat covers. You get Exotic Signs makes great decals for these things. You could make these suckers literally look brand new off the showroom floor with little
Precisely.
money involved. I highly recommend anybody just restoring a ski. It's a fun project. You get to know the machine by working on it.
Yeah.
You know this from cars and
Well,
stuff. So
but check this out. The P had that you pulled the seat and then you pulled that whole second.
Oh
You
yeah,
had all sorts of room.
yeah. Oh, it's a dream compared to
Tons of
new
room.
stuff.
Yeah. The only problem was that you had all the fiberglass that would get in your
you go to
forearms.
bed itching every night.
Yes, you could have had it every night. That was the only thing that literally stupid Apex is for sale. Anyone who says they can't find an Apex isn't looking.
My local dealer has two just sitting there.
Oh, jeez. All these guys are like, oh boy, I can't get the Apex.
Yeah.
Shut up. You can find. Look at this. There's another one. They're all over the place. You guys are clowns. I'm sitting here looking for old stuff, and all I find is tons of brand new. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. Yeah, I did a very short mileage search. Okay. Well, that's funny. All right. Now you got me. What do you say we answer some questions? We're 40 minutes into this. I know we had some super chats. All right. By the way, Billy's been here. Everyone, please welcome Billy. Take a drink for Billy. Billy's here. I should have done that ages ago.
I feel like I just saw Billy.
You did. Hey, everyone who came in from Mudbug, they're all saying it was great riding with you. Dave Pate's coming in saying thing. Actually, that was our first super chat.
Yeah, I only rode with him for a few hours.
Yeah, Dave says, hey, Greg, had a blast at Mudbug this past weekend. Really cool riding with you and your dad.
It was great seeing you. Your
dad went out?
Yeah, for an even shorter time period than I did.
All right. Okay, let's see. This one's from Warheads. He asked.
Go to our email. I don't know it all the top of my head. We got like 5 of them. If you go to our online store at PWC Performance or fortechperformance.com or greenhulk.net, you could reach me on that form at Greenhulk Jr., or there's a contact us button on the online store, and you can contact us through there.
All right, Warhead. Yeah, go through the store, go through Fortech Performance, and there's a contact page, and you can hit up Greg that way. All right. Oh, good. Hey, check this out. This is from Jason. Jason says, Greg, just want to say hello. I purchased tons of good parts and a license from you. The FZS is kicking it at 81 on GPS.
Awesome. That FZ is another great ski that I wish they still made.
I would do an FZ almost. Yeah. I'm torn because nothing is better looking than the FZ.
I'm a little biased for that old Sea-Doo. I think it just screams muscle craft to me. But of course,
true.
I grew up on those things. I was 3 years old riding on those things.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me about the FZ is I'm not the biggest guy in the world. And I don't fit on it very well. It's like riding a horse, but it's a beautiful ski. It's just a little big for me.
Well, the saddle is wide. It's one of the problem with it. It was one of the last years that they really struggled with having a really wide saddle. It just
Well, that new.
And then they had the other thing was the pump stuffing. They really had a problem with pump stuffing. That was one of the first times I ever even encountered pump stuffing was with the FZ. And I mean,
2015s, and I think maybe 2014, but mainly 2015, the SVHO had timing chain issues.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that was that was really kind of the worst thing about it was they were snapping chains. Yeah, they were snapping chains. But boy, I'll tell you, I had so much fun with the first FZR. In fact, here, let me show you what we did. This is one of the first times I really got in got in the doghouse with Yamaha. We had this FZR and we did a photo shoot with it that I thought was just stellar. And I'll show everyone what we did here. This was the photo shoot that we did with the FZR. We did it at night and we used this really high intense flash bulb. Mm-hmm. This is Justin Stannard, who was my associate editor at PWI. And I mean, what a killer shot. We were so stoked with this thing. And I mean, my art director jumped out of her skin. She was like, "This is the best cover we've ever done." Uh-huh. And we put this thing to print, and Yamaha calls my publisher, and they're like, "You're effing writing this thing at night. What are you doing? Oh my gosh!"
Wow. Like, I wouldn't even have known this was at night unless you would have said something. And if I didn't know any better, I thought it was some fancy editing, making it dark like that.
No, we did it. Yeah, we did it down in San Diego on a private lake. And he got way too close to the dock.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and that flashbulb went off in his face, and he had to turn right before he hit the dock. And we had some really good ones, but this was the best one. And I mean, I'm like, dude, you got to put this thing absolutely on the rail. And it was one of the first larger runabouts that you could totally get on the rail. Mm-hmm. And I just absolutely love this ski. You're right, though. The seat is a little wide.
Yeah.
And there is some stuffing issue. So you'd have to address it. If you got your hands on an early FZR, you would have to address the timing chain problem. In fact, you'd probably want to go because they still had the SHOs when they first hit.
Yeah. Well, you could bolt on the SVHO supercharger, intercooler, and injectors, and it'll make quite a bit more power than the stock SHO. You don't have the benefit of the SVHO internals, but I mean it's plenty reliable that way.
Right, that's true. Yeah, okay.
But that FZR SHO, that really changed the game for PWC performance.
Yeah.
How many of those things are well over 100 miles an hour? It's mind blowing the performance you can squeeze out of these Yamaha engines, and it set the bar. And
well, look at the speeds they're doing on this hull right now. They're in triple digits, deep in the triple digits.
Yeah.
So I mean, holy crap. So yeah. All right. God, this conversation totally went into like what retro ski should you build? All right, we got a chat or a super chat here from Brian. He asks, "Hey, answer when you can. What is the best mount handheld Garmin for water navigation on 23 Ultra LX?" Well, the neat thing is that Kawasaki integrated the multi-mount system onto the new Ultras, and those are those two little bars that you're going to see. They're probably about this long on the steering neck, and you can get the clamshell. There's it's a RAM mount, RAM mount. All right, go to RAM mount, and they have a 2-part clamp, like a handlebar clamp, and with a ball knob on it. And then you get your Garmin, a handheld Garmin with a mount on there. And I'll tell you what, you could run headfirst into a brick wall, and that Garmin mount's going to still be there. So, not that I recommend that, but the RAM mounts. That's the reason why Yamaha went with RAM mount. If you notice that all the Yamahas today come with RAM mount parts already integrated into the deck, it's because RAM mount is one of the sturdiest, really a good quality brand. Anything to add to that?
I don't use GPS. I get lost.
You don't navigate. You use GPS for speed.
Correct. I've got a GPS that strictly shows speed and miles, navigation, and no, I don't have one.
Oh, Chuck already replied. Brian, use a RAM mount.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, these guys are talking two-stroke. Blah, 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 blah. I want to see a lot more Musclecraft skis. This is from Josh. He says, I want to see a lot more Musclecraft skis. The problem is with that is even the new GP 1800R is going to have all the Kinects integration and phone and sound system and I don't blame Yamaha for it. I blame the customers. And because more and more people are coming in going, well, of course I'm going to have my phone on there. So I'm going to want my phone to integrate into the dashboard. And oh, GPS navigation, that sounds great. Oh, and I can call home and voice text and blah, 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 blah. Can I watch YouTube videos while I'm on my ski? That sounds great. And people are just asking for this stuff. And the manufacturer's just going to be like, okay. I don't blame Yamaha or Sea-Doo or Cowie for this.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But, it's partially your fault and my fault and my dad's fault. They start coming out with new tech and talk about how good it is. And, I'm at the point, I don't really care about this stuff anymore. And I'm not going to promote this stuff.
Right.
I like just going out having fun. And so maybe, will that change anything? Probably not, but it's worth a shot, I guess.
I agree 100%. I think I did a podcast like 3 or 4 months ago where I'm like, I have to apologize because I encouraged this for 10 years.
Yeah.
Guilty. Like I really did. I really felt like I had blood on my hands because I was like, we got this far because I was beating the drum for sound systems. Because at the time, hey, the sound system worked great. Oh, hey, everything works out awesome. Oh, it's so easy. It just Bluetooth pops on your phone. Off you go. Okay, great. And then it was like, oh, I won't buy a ski without a USB port so I can charge my phone.
Yeah.
And it just escalates until that I'm sitting on a ski that I'm like, I'd rather this is a minivan. I don't want to be in a minivan.
Right.
And I mean, it's like Lord of the Rings. It's like we dug too deep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So but again, I feel guilty because I was a cheerleader on the sidelines going, yay, do more. And here we are.
Right. And now we got these cruise ships with every feature that you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. John writes, I wish all brands would ditch these light material hulls for at least the lower hull. It makes sense for the GPs to be Nano XL. Nano XL is lightweight. Nano XL is very responsive. It communicates what the ski is doing on the water.
Oh, yeah.
The GP needs to have that rider sensitivity to it. So anyone who says, oh, I don't like it, it's too rough, you bought the wrong ski for you. Mm-hmm. Because an aggressive rider, and dude, I'm 45, I'm 30 pounds overweight. I pop when I get out of bed. I'm not racing anymore. Now, mind you, Chris McCluggage is 50 years old and he's in killer shape. But I'm not aggressively riding, and it's not something that would appeal to me. I would go buy an FX SVHO because it's got fiberglass hull. It's going to absorb more. It's going to be more forgiving. It's going to be as sporty for me, as sporty as I would probably ride it, But there's just so many people who go out and buy the GP 1800R SVHO and go, this thing beats crap out of you. I'm like, it's not the ski's fault. That's your fault.
Yeah. That GP hull. Now, I love my old skis, right? But the new GP hull, that is by far in my opinion, the best performing watercraft there is. Sure, you're going to feel every single ripple in the water, but that's part of the reason why I love it, because you get that responsive feedback and you know exactly what's going on. And the way it carves a turn, the stability at speed. I mean, you cannot beat that, in my opinion.
Agreed.
And of course, adding fiberglass to that would increase the weight. Sure, it'd be a little more durable, but it would change the riding attributes of that, which we saw with the new FX. That is a little bit slower actually than the outgoing Nano Haul.
Yeah, it's more weight, and it's more. It absorbs more. Well, that's energy. The fiberglass. Okay, so more weight means more draft. So you have more water or more ski in the water. Okay. That's why the Cowie is not going 80. All right. It's got a ton of draft. We understand that. But the Cowie won't knock your fillings out in 4-foot whitecaps.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you take a GP, that guy is skittering across the water, just maxed out, and it's feeling everything. So you know what it's doing. It's communicating through your feet and through your bars.
Yeah.
And I go back to cars. So it's like it's really stiff race suspension, really aggressive low profile tires.
Yeah.
You're going to feel everything on that asphalt. All right.
Yeah.
But when you're going 190 miles an hour, you want to be able to feel what the surface is.
Right.
Because if not, you're dead.
Right.
So to that effect, the GP being a full tilt race ski should feel that. The only thing I would critique about that ski, besides having a sound system and having phone integration, is maybe the fact that it's still a painted hull.
Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with that. And
if it wasn't painted,
flakes off.
Yeah, even if they used a flex additive like what they put on the plastic bumpers of Hyundais, it would be better. But it's too brittle. And so guys are burning the paint when they go up the bunks of their trailer. They're like, how did I get these big black marks? And you're like, yeah, you went up the trailer bunks too fast. They're like, too fast? I flipped the throttle. You're like, yeah, too fast. All right, we got one from Henry. All right, Henry writes, hey, Greg, thinking about doing a vintage stand-up build this winter. Already did a Cowie 440. What would you pick? And just curious, would you rather have an AC Cobra or a Mark II GT40?
I can't answer that second question. You know, I would take either one.
You're a Corvette guy. Screw you.
Yeah.
You'd go get a split window, the 327.
Yeah, I would absolutely take a split window over that. But the AC Cobra, I love the look of it. But the Mark II GT40, that's another fantastic car. But as far as stand-ups, I grew up on a brown nose Superjet.
Okay.
I had the most fun on that ski, and I rode from sun up to sundown. And when the sun went down, we kept riding with our headlights parked in the water, doing plenty of things that we shouldn't have been doing. But yeah, I mean, I would love to have another round nose Superjet, and I'm sure I will at some point.
Okay. All right. Yes, I knew we had some more super chats. All right. Hey, Greg, do you think that Yamaha will fix the SVHO intake manifold design flaw that you told us about last time? I presume he's talking about the the flame arrestor.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to fix that soon. What I do know and what I can say is Yamaha is constantly innovating, and we'll see soon.
All right. My understanding is that Connext, that there will be, my understanding is that there should be something for Connext next year.
Okay.
But
I've already told you, I'm under NDA. I can't say, but I do know the cat's out of the bag because a few people in this chat section have asked me about exactly what's coming. So how do they know? I don't know, but
all right.
They've got some cool things coming.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. I think. Okay, that's it for super chats. Yes, Henry, I cannot fit into a GT40. I have tried. I have sat in I've sat in an original Mark II and an original Mark III. I have also gone to Metal Crafters in Fountain Valley, California, and sat in their drop pan version, and I can fit, but if I put a helmet on, I'm screwed. So yeah, they were designed for jockeys. All right, let's see here. Let's see if we have any good other questions. All right. Oh, here we go. We got a good one. Question. I removed my ride reverse bucket on my GP 1800R and 5 out of 6 bolts broke off with a half-inch ratchet or quarter-inch ratchet. Has anyone else noticed these weak bolts before? All right. First, did you use an impact?
Well, no, he says a quarter-inch ratchet, so he did not use an impact.
Well,
but I've never taken a ride reverse bucket off, but I have taken a reverse bucket off of FZs before, and they're definitely not the strongest bolts. I've broke a couple of them. You definitely need to be careful with them. They're fragile.
Yeah.
Maybe use a little heat to get them off.
Obviously, yeah.
Not too much because it's the reverse bucket. It's plastic fittings, but
right.
They got Loctite on there. A little heat might help break them loose.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, let's see. Do we have any other questions, guys? Are you good? I think we're almost done. I'm just going through the pictures as much as I can. So, all right. We caught that one. We got that one. Perkins. All right. If cash wasn't a problem, what would you buy if you were to buy a brand new unit? What would you get?
Brand new, GP 1800R SVHO.
Really?
Oh yeah, and the RXPX is a close second.
Okay.
I've had little issues with my GP. Yamaha's flaws. Cylinder head cracking is no secret. No, I haven't cracked mine too badly, but I have a small crack from the spark plug to one of the valves. Still holds compression. The intake manifold bit me in the butt. So I've had those issues with it, and that's my only negatives. But my RXP, that has been I joke around and say it's old faithful, and I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt because I abuse that thing, and it has never failed me. I blew a coolant line one time, pulled the key instantly, fixed it, and was back in the water in 30 minutes. But the way that RXP behaves, I don't think people give it enough credit. That is the only new Sea-Doo that I would buy. But it's no GP.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for me right now. I'm kind of
and you know what? The Kawasaki 310, while it's not a fast machine, I had so much fun on California on the 160 version. Just going through that light chop that we went through. I mean, it ate it up so well.
Right.
You can't go wrong with that one either.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably end up doing the 310X, but the longer I've had the 310 LX right now, the more I'm kind of being a grouch about it. Just little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just little fit and finish things. I hate the bow storage even more now.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
because it's not watertight at all, and I soaked my entire camera bag. And
Well,
I should have put everything in a dry bag when I did the Great Lakes ride, because we did 9 hours, 238 miles, and I want to say about 85% of it was Whitecaps.
okay. Yeah.
And I mean, it was bitching. I have a picture of how fat my wrist swelled up because I really came in hard on my wrist. But I mean, I stood up the whole time, and I was completely pinned the whole time. And I mean, I rode it like I stole the damn thing, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, the Watercraft Journal guy actually puts out." And I was like, "Well, if you're gonna drag me out here, I'm gonna put on a show."
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
you don't want to look like a poser. You sit there sitting down, you're playing my music. This is fun, guys. Here's my
oh,
GoPro.
yeah.
You know, everyone's like, "You keep losing GoPros." I go, "Yeah, because I ride hard and I break all sorts of shit."
Oh, you see, my GP, you mentioned that the storage not being watertight either. Neither is mine by far, because I've got a gaping hole in the front of it to get some air in. It's the fake
Yeah.
vent, I did away with that. We're flowing plenty of air now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's again, but we're doing different writing. It's like I had a guy come completely unhinged over the story that we did about bringing extra fuel, and he's like, "You guys are just a bunch of freaking, just going out for the whole day. You're not riding hard. You're just cruising around, and no one needs to bring extra gas with them, and that's stupid." I'm like, okay, whatever. Just whatever. I'm like, I want to see different scenery. I don't want to go roundy round around Lake Elsinore,
right.
16 times. I'm like, dude, come on. I'm like, when I was learning how to ride a 440 and you fell off the damn thing and it circled around you, I'm like, okay, a small little lake worked fine. The back of your parents, or the back of your grandparents' cabin, not cabin,
Camp. It's
camp.
yeah.
Sorry.
South Louisiana.
That's a waterway, and that was all the water you guys needed.
Yeah. Actually, a good comment. I wanted a little more detail on this from
Oh,
John. He says, "I just wish someone would make an impeller for altitude for these Yamahas. What mods
oh,
are on your ski?"
he commented with Riva when we had Dave.
Oh, he did. Well,
Yeah, but go
see,
ahead.
you don't have an impeller for altitude, but you pitch your impeller for your RPM. So high altitude, you're making a little less horsepower. So you need to decrease pitch and get a little bit more RPM out of it. And if you want to comment your mods, or if you're stock, I could probably help you out a little bit.
All right.
But I see Billy commented too. Yeah, you definitely need to come out and ride some of these.
All right, we got another question here.
Okay.
We'll wait for John to respond.
Yeah.
John will pop up, but we got this one. Question: I'm waiting for two 2023 GTX 300 Limited. If Sea-Doo can ever get them to Montana, well, you're out there. Would a battery disconnect create any problems using a battery maintainer rather than removing the battery? Like a battery tender? No, you don't have to pull the battery out. I presume this is for your extended winters, which are 8 months long. I'm joking, but still, if you're gonna keep your ski on a battery tender, you don't necessarily have to do a battery disconnect, because you can access the battery rather simply, and just take a Phillips head screwdriver and disconnect it. Just pull them off. You don't need to rewire or anything. I wouldn't touch the factory harness, and just put a battery tender on it. You should be okay. In fact, the battery tender, if you put it on a slow trickle, you don't even have to disconnect it from the ski, because it's not you're not going to have that cyclical charge. So you should be okay just putting the battery tender on the ski while it sits in your garage. All right. All right. So John writes, I've already repitched it to 12-16. And then he continues, I know what to do. I just wish someone would make one close. Mods are minimal, ribbon delete, cooling mods. I have the 8100 RPM tune.
Is that an SVHO or HO? Because if that's an SVHO, either you're at really high elevations or you're banging the rev limiter with a 12-16.
Yeah.
I know at level with the 8100 tune, you need a 1320. So, I mean, 4 degrees on the trailing edge pitch, that's a huge difference. But you might be at a high altitude, and that's right. Yes, SVHO.
Yeah.
I'd put a digital tack on there, and you want to be 200 RPM less than what your peak RPM or what your rev limiter is, just so you give that wiggle room. 5,000 feet. Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pitching an impeller, you want to be 200 RPM, give or take, less than the rev limiter. And unfortunately, no out-of-the-box impeller is ever going to put you right there. I'm at sea level, and I do tweaking with these impellers right out the box to get the RPM that I desire. And that's all part of a performance ski. And you got to fine-tune things, and that's why some people get higher speeds than others do. Just slapping these things together straight out the box, you're at a disadvantage versus someone that takes the time and fine tweak everything.
Okay. All right. Let's take one more, and then we'll get out of here because we're already at 12 after. All right. This one's from Warheads. When does Yamaha show us their new skis for next year? September, October? No, it's the middle of August. I believe the dealer show is on the 14th or 15th. Let's look at the calendar. August, Sunday, so it's the 13th. So everything will be public the night of the 13th. It'll be all over social media on the 14th. So that's my understanding, is that the dealer show is on Sunday, the 13th of August. And all the new colors, updates, potentially a new ski are going to be revealed in August. And then I believe Sea-Doo is a week after that, if I'm not mistaken. And then Kawasaki's already revealed everything for 2023. Yeah. They're like, it's colors.
Not 2023, 2024.
Excuse me. Well, they released 24 in like the first week of June.
Halfway through 23, that's a bit odd. Or they released a 23 model in the beginning of 2023, a little odd there.
Yeah, February 1st, they introduced the 2 naturally aspirated skis, which I was like, oh, wow, those are 2 new models. Okay. And then I get a press release like, here's all the colors for 24. I'm like, you guys just like all going on vacation in October. They're like, we're not going to be here. Let's just get everything out right now. So whatever. But yeah, the 24s for Yamaha are going to be mid-August, and then Sea-Doo, I believe, is going to be either the following week or 2 weeks after. I don't think they're going to release it on the 27th. I think they released it on the 20th. But that might be fast and loose. So, but I do know that Yamaha is scheduled for the middle of the month. All right. Well, I think that does it for us. I don't see any more super chats, guys who paid to have us yell at them. So anyways, Greg, thanks for coming in. Where can people find you? Where do you want people to go?
The best way to reach me is probably through the forum or through email. Second best is going to be Facebook. You search me, Greg Gaddis. Easiest thing to do. The worst way to reach me is Instagram because I might get on that thing once a month. Don't do that.
All right. All right. And then in between harassing you, where else should they go to? Obviously you want to. Shit, kid. Send them to the store and to the forum.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Greenhulk.net is our forum, and that's an excellent tool for everybody. It's a jet ski encyclopedia. If you need to know something, it is on that forum. Use the search engine, you'll find an answer for it. And if not, we're a message away from helping you out, or one of the guys on our forum can. That's much better than Facebook, because you get a lot of dumb questions on Facebook, dumb answers on Facebook, and that's not the case on here.
Yeah. Yep. Very true. That's greenhulk.net has been possibly one of the most useful resources for performance enthusiasts and people looking to begin wrenching on their own watercraft. Thankfully, the forum community has gotten rid of the yahoos that used to haunt forums, 10, 15 years ago. You really get the guys who are zero BS. So that's one of the best things about it. Again, it's not like going to a Facebook community page. So great. Well, Greg, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in. This was kind of a short notice one, but I'm glad you had nothing going on. So
absolutely.
All right. Well, guys, thanks again. Thank you for tuning in to the Watercraft Journal this Monday night. We are hoping that our guest who had to reschedule will be for next week. Otherwise, I don't know. We'll just play, movie trivia night or something. I don't know. We'll think of something. All right. Well, guys, thanks again. Make sure to tune in to the YouTube channel where new videos are published every single day, Monday through Friday, as well as the magazine, watercraftjournal.com, where new articles are written and published every day, Monday through Friday, entirely subscription free to you. No passwords, no firewall, no download, none of that crap. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you to Greg. We'll see you soon.